The quiet erosion of your independence often begins not with a fall or a sudden injury, but at the edge of your kitchen table. For many adults over the age of 60, the morning ritual of a fresh fruit bowl is considered the pinnacle of health. Yet emerging clinical observations suggest that for a significant portion of the senior population, certain healthy staples are actually the silent thieves of lower body power. You may have noticed that the stairs feel steeper than they did last year, or that rising from a favorite armchair requires a grunt of effort that was not there before, while society tells us that this decline is simply the inevitable tax of aging. The biological reality is often linked to chronic, low-grade systemic inflammation triggered by specific compounds found in common fruits. We are witnessing a phenomenon where the very foods we consume to protect our hearts are inadvertently sabotaging the structural integrity of our legs, leading to a cycle of stiffness, heaviness, and muscle fatigue. This is not a matter of toxic substances, but a matter of biological timing and metabolic shifts that occur as we enter our golden years. As our circulation naturally slows and our insulin sensitivity wanes, the way our bodies process fruit sugars and acids changes fundamentally. When you consume high glycemic or highly acidic fruits, you may be unintentionally pouring fuel on a fire of joint inflammation that targets the knees, ankles, and hips. This invisible damage happens slowly, bite by bite, until the simple act of walking to the mailbox becomes a chore. In this comprehensive investigation, we will uncover why seemingly innocent fruits like pineapple, bananas, and grapes can become metabolic hurdles for the aging body. We will explore the mechanisms of uric acid buildup, the dangers of glycemic spikes on microcirculation, and the specific fruits that actually support muscle protein synthesis and joint lubrication. By the end of this journey, you will possess a sophisticated roadmap for fruit consumption that prioritizes your leg strength, ensuring your mobility remains an asset rather than a liability. We are going to break down the 7 fruits currently destroying your leg strength, analyze the science of why they fail the senior body, and provide the therapeutic alternatives that can help you reclaim your stride. Your legs carry your independence, and it is time we feed them with the wisdom they deserve. The relationship between nutrition and mobility is governed by the health of our skeletal muscle and the integrity of our vascular system. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at clearing out inflammatory markers and managing the sudden influx of fructose. When a senior consumes a fruit high in natural sugars, such as a mango or a ripe banana, the resulting blood sugar spike does not just dissipate. It triggers a cascade of insulin that can damage the delicate capillaries in the lower extremities. This reduced blood flow means less oxygen reaches the large muscle groups of the thighs and calves, leading to the sensation of heavy, leaden legs. Furthermore, certain fruits contain specific enzymes and acids that, while beneficial in younger years, can aggravate arthritic conditions and cause joint tissues to swell, further restricting movement. It is a bitter irony that the healthy snack you choose may be the very thing making your morning walk more painful. Understanding this shift is the first step in stopping the silent decay of your physical strength. We are not suggesting a life of restriction, but rather a transition to a more strategic, age-appropriate diet that aligns with your current metabolic reality. Throughout this documentary, we will look at clinical data and practical solutions, providing you with exact serving sizes and timing to optimize your nutritional intake. We will bunk the myths of the universal fruit bowl and replace them with a tailored plan for senior vitality. If you have been struggling with unexplained leg weakness or persistent joint aches, the answer may be sitting right in front of you in your fruit bowl. It is time to listen to what your body is trying to tell you through every ache and every heavy step. Let us begin by examining the first fruit that, despite its reputation as a health food, may be quietly dismantling your ability to walk with ease. The biological connection between fruit consumption and the deterioration of leg strength centers on a phenomenon known as the glycemic cascade and its subsequent impact on muscle wastage. As we cross the threshold of 60, our bodies undergo a fundamental shift in how we process carbohydrates and natural sugars. When you consume fruits with a high glycemic index, such as the tropical mango or the ubiquitous banana, you are not just eating a healthy snack. You are triggering a rapid influx of glucose into a bloodstream that is no longer equipped to manage it with youthful efficiency. This process begins with an immediate spike in blood sugar, which forces the pancreas to pump out insulin in a desperate attempt to regulate the system. For many seniors, this frequent cycle leads to insulin resistance, a state where the muscles in your thighs and calves can no longer effectively absorb the energy they need to function. Instead of fueling your movement, the sugar remains in the blood, where it begins to damage the microscopic vessels responsible for delivering oxygen to your lower limbs. This lack of oxygenated blood flow is a primary driver of the heavy, dragging sensation many older adults feel after a short walk. Furthermore, the persistent presence of high insulin levels in the body triggers a systemic inflammatory response. This inflammation acts like a corrosive force on muscle fibers, particularly the fast-twitch fibers that are essential for balance and explosive movements like standing up from a chair or climbing stairs. Clinical observations suggest that seniors who consume high-sugar fruits daily experience a faster rate of sarcopenia, which is the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. When you bite into a piece of watermelon, you might believe you are simply hydrating, but the high glycemic index of this fruit can cause a sharp rise in blood sugar that mimics the metabolic impact of eating candy. This sweet trap causes the body to prioritize fat storage over muscle maintenance, leading to a visible thinning of the leg muscles while increasing the strain on the joints. The result is a legs-down approach to weakness. Your calves feel tight, your knees lose their stability, and your overall balance becomes precarious. The damage to your leg strength is not just about the muscles themselves, but also about the nerves that control them. High blood sugar spikes can lead to peripheral nerve irritation, manifesting as a dull ache, tingling, or even a burning sensation in the toes and feet. This neurological interference makes it harder for the brain to communicate with the legs, leading to that stiff feeling in the morning or a strange tightness in the knees that seems to appear for no reason. It is crucial to understand that even natural sugars are still sugars in the eyes of an aging metabolism. While a younger person can burn off the sugar from a mango or a bowl of grapes through vigorous activity, a senior with a slower metabolism will find that these sugars linger, fueling the chronic inflammation that erodes the structural integrity of the lower body. This is why we see so many active seniors who walk every day and follow the rules, yet still find their legs getting weaker. They are unknowingly fueling the very inflammation that is stealing their strength. To combat this, we must look closely at the specific sugar content and fiber ratios of the fruits we choose. Fiber acts as a natural brake, slowing down the absorption of sugar and preventing the devastating insulin spikes that lead to muscle wastage. Fruits like mangoes and bananas are often stripped of this protective benefit because they are low in fiber relative to their high sugar load. When you consume these, the sugar enters your system almost instantly. Over months and years, this repeated metabolic stress contributes to a permanent decline in leg power. By understanding the glycemic cascade, we can begin to see the fruit bowl not as a collection of universal health foods, but as a selection of biological triggers that must be chosen with precision. If your goal is to maintain the strength to walk, climb, and stand without pain, you must stop the cycle of sugar-induced inflammation that is currently weakening your foundation. In the following sections, we will delve deeper into how these fruits specifically target the joints and vascular systems, providing you with a clear path toward a stronger, more mobile future. The structural integrity of your lower body depends heavily on the health of your synovial fluid and the cushioning tissues within your knees, hips, and ankles. However, for many individuals over the age of 60, certain acidic fruits can act as a direct irritant to these delicate environments, while younger bodies often possess the metabolic flexibility to neutralize organic acids quickly. Aging joints are far more sensitive to fluctuations in systemic Phe and inflammatory markers. Oranges and other highly acidic citrus fruits, traditionally praised for their vitamin C content, may hide a painful reality for seniors battling stiffness. The citric acids found in these fruits can enter the bloodstream and, in some cases, aggravate joint tissues that are already compromised by wear and tear or arthritis. This often manifests as a progressive stiffness in the morning or a persistent hip pain that makes the first few steps of the day feel like a monumental task. When you consume orange juice or whole oranges daily, you might be contributing to a state of systemic inflammation that spreads specifically to your knees and calves, making every step feel heavier and more labored. This acid assault is not limited to citrus alone. Pineapple, which contains the enzyme bromelain and is often marketed as an anti-inflammatory, carries a hidden duality for the senior body. While bromelain has its benefits, pineapple also delivers a significant load of strong acids and natural sugars that can irritate the joints if you already have existing inflammation. For many seniors, this combination pours fuel on the fire of chronic pain in the ankles and knees. Beyond the immediate irritation, these acidic components can interact with the vascular system. As we age, our blood vessels become more fragile and sensitive. The metabolic stress of processing high-acid, high-sugar fruits can lead to a dull, dragging ache in the legs after even a short walk. As the circulation struggles to deliver oxygen to the muscles, some seniors even report a strange tightness or a feeling that their strength is slowly draining away shortly after consuming these tropical treats. Furthermore, we must consider the impact of green apples, which many choose as a lower sugar alternative to red varieties. These apples are rich in malic acid, the source of their characteristic tartness. While malic acid is generally safe, it can be harsh on the aging digestive system and, once absorbed, may irritate sensitive joint tissues. This accumulation can lead to pronounced hip or thigh pain and a sensation of heat in the feet. Because these fruits are often eaten raw and frequently as a late-day snack, the body is constantly exposed to these irritants, which can lead to nighttime leg cramps and a general feeling of weakness when attempting to climb stairs. The subtle accumulation of these organic acids creates a landscape where the joints remain in a state of high alert, preventing the natural repair processes that should occur during rest. The danger of these acidic fruits lies in their reputation as health staples. Most seniors have no idea the very foods they eat to boost their immunity might be contributing to the year-by-year weakness in their legs. It is a cycle of unintended consequences. You drink orange juice for vitamin C, yet the resulting inflammation makes your knees too stiff to exercise, leading to further muscle atrophy. By identifying these acidic triggers, you can make smarter adjustments to your fruit bowl. This does not mean you must avoid all fruit, but it does mean recognizing that your body's reaction to acid has changed. To maintain the strength needed for independence, you must prioritize fruits that soothe rather than irritate. In the next section, we will explore a different but equally dangerous chemical reaction: how certain fruit sugars convert into metabolic crystals that can paralyze your ability to walk comfortably. The fourth mechanism through which your fruit bowl may be sabotaging your mobility is the accumulation of metabolic crystals, a direct result of how the senior liver processes specific concentrations of fructose. While grapes are often celebrated as a heart-healthy snack rich in antioxidants, they represent a significant uric acid hazard for the aging body. Grapes contain high levels of fructose, a type of sugar that is absorbed directly by the liver. As metabolism slows after age 60, the liver may struggle to fully process this concentrated sugar load, converting the excess into fat and, more dangerously, uric acid. This byproduct is not merely a waste fluid. It can crystallize within the joints, particularly in the toes, ankles, and knees. These microscopic, needle-like crystals cause intermittent heat, swelling, and a stabbing pain that can make even light walking feel like an impossible task. For many seniors, just a handful of grapes is enough to raise systemic uric acid levels, leading to a sudden tightness in the calves or a sharp twinge in the big toe during the night. This condition often goes undiagnosed as traditional gout because the pain may be a dull, persistent ache rather than an acute flare-up. However, the result is the same: a gradual reduction in your range of motion and a reflexive avoidance of movement to prevent discomfort. This lack of movement leads to secondary muscle wasting, as the legs are no longer challenged by the daily stresses of walking and standing. Because grapes are small and easy to overeat, many seniors consume 2 or 3 cups in a single sitting, unknowingly delivering a massive blow to their joint health. The inflammatory punch of grapes is compounded by the fact that fructose fuels chronic systemic inflammation, which increases pressure on the vascular system and leads to increased stiffness in the lower extremities. You might find that after a day of snacking on grapes, your ankles feel puffy and your legs feel less flexible, as if the very hinges of your body have become rusted. This is the silent work of uric acid and fructose-induced inflammation. It is a metabolic trap that thrives on the healthy reputation of fruit. By understanding that your liver's capacity to handle fructose has diminished, you can see why grapes may no longer be the innocent snack they once were. To protect your leg strength, it is essential to recognize these small but mighty inflammatory triggers. When uric acid builds up, it creates a toxic environment for the tendons and ligaments that support your weight, making every step feel heavier and more precarious. Reclaiming your stride requires a conscious effort to limit fruits that demand too much from your liver and your joints. If you have noticed more stiffness or swelling lately, the culprit may be the very grapes you thought were helping your heart. In the next section, we will investigate how fruit-induced inflammation does not just stop at the joints, but actually restricts the vital blood flow required to keep your leg muscles alive and powerful. The vascular system serves as the highway for your mobility, delivering the oxygen and nutrients required for every muscle contraction in your legs. However, as we age, our circulation naturally weakens, and the foods we choose can either support this vital flow or act as a biological bottleneck. For many seniors, the inflammation triggered by certain fruits specifically targets the microcirculation in the lower extremities, leading to a state of chronic vascular stress. This is particularly evident with fruits that cause rapid blood sugar spikes, such as watermelon. Despite its reputation for hydration, watermelon has a very high glycemic index. When blood sugar shoots up, the body releases insulin, but in aging bodies, insulin regulation is often compromised. The resulting systemic inflammation affects the areas where circulation is already at its most delicate. Your calves, ankles, and knees. This inflammatory response narrows the tiny blood vessels that feed your leg muscles, foot tissues, and joints. When less oxygen reaches these areas, you experience immediate physical consequences: pain, fatigue, and swelling. You may feel a dull, dragging ache in your legs after just a short walk, or find that your ankles hurt even if you have been sitting most of the day. This is not merely tiredness. It is the sound of your muscles gasping for air, because the vascular pathways have been constricted by sugar-induced inflammation. Over time, this restricted flow causes the muscle fibers to weaken and eventually atrophy, as they are no longer receiving the biological support necessary to maintain their mass. Furthermore, we must look at the role of fluid retention. Some common fruits, like bananas, can cause the body to retain more fluid, especially in seniors with underlying heart or circulatory issues. This excess fluid pools in the lower extremities due to gravity, leading to puffy ankles and swollen feet. This swelling creates physical pressure on the nerves and blood vessels, further impeding circulation and making the legs feel incredibly heavy, as if you are walking through deep water. The effect is silent and gradual. You eat these fruits believing they are supporting your heart, but for an aging vascular system, the high sugar load and potential for fluid retention create a perfect storm that wears down your legs bite by bite. The most dangerous aspect of this vascular interference is its subtlety. The damage happens slowly and quietly until one day you realize you can no longer climb stairs without pausing, or that getting up from a chair takes significantly longer than it used to. By consuming fruits that spike insulin and trigger inflammation, you are essentially tightening a metaphorical tourniquet around your lower limbs. To reclaim your strength, you must prioritize fruits that enhance circulation rather than hinder it. Understanding that your blood vessels are more fragile and sensitive after 60 is essential to making the right dietary choices. Your independence is carried by your legs, and those legs depend entirely on the health of your blood flow. In the next section, we will examine how these nutritional choices act as a direct catalyst for sarcopenia, accelerating the loss of the very muscle fibers you need to stay active. The acceleration of sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss, is one of the most significant threats to senior independence, and certain fruits act as unexpected catalysts for this decline. Sarcopenia typically involves the gradual thinning of muscle fibers, but this process is dramatically sped up when the body is subjected to the sugar explosion found in fruits like mangoes. Mango is often perceived as a healthy, natural candy, but for adults over 60, it delivers a serious sugar punch that spikes blood sugar hard and fast. While a younger metabolism can process this influx, the aging body reacts with a massive insulin spike, followed by a metabolic crash. Each time this cycle occurs, it triggers inflammation deep within the soft tissues surrounding the hips, knees, and ankles. This chronic inflammation does not just cause pain. It actively interferes with muscle protein synthesis, the process by which your body repairs and maintains leg muscle. For seniors already struggling with weaker circulation, the high sugar content in these tropical fruits can lead to a creeping heaviness rising up the legs. When you consume a fruit that lacks a proper fiber-to-sugar ratio, you are essentially starving your muscles of the steady energy they need while bathing them in inflammatory markers. This leads to what many describe as leaden legs, where the muscles feel exhausted even after minimal exertion. Over time, this nutritional stress causes the large muscle groups of the thighs and calves to lose their density, making the legs feel unsteady and prone to giving out. Most seniors are unaware that their habit of eating natural treats is contributing to a year-by-year decline in their physical power. The damage also extends to the neurological control of the muscles. High-sugar fruits can cause nerve-related issues, manifesting as a persistent tingling or a burning sensation in the toes and feet. This sensory interference makes it harder for the brain to coordinate the precise movements required for balance. When your balance is off, you naturally move less, which further accelerates the wasting of the leg muscles in a vicious cycle of decay. Furthermore, the lack of quality energy from these fruits means that the body may begin to break down its own muscle tissue to compensate for the metabolic chaos caused by frequent insulin spikes. To stop the sarcopenia accelerator, seniors must transition away from fruits that treat the body like a sugar refinery and toward those that provide stable, long-term support. Reclaiming your leg strength requires a diet that protects your muscle fibers from the corrosive effects of inflammation and insulin resistance. By understanding that even healthy-looking fruits like mangoes and bananas can be muscle imposters, you can take the first step toward preserving the physical foundation of your life. Your goal is to choose foods that fuel your movement, rather than foods that contribute to the silent, invisible drainage of your strength. In the next section, we will reveal the restorative protocol and the therapeutic fruits that can actually help rebuild your legs and soothe your joints. The path toward reclaiming your mobility and halting the silent drainage of your strength begins with the implementation of a restorative protocol centered on therapeutic alternatives. While we have identified the fruits that act as metabolic hurdles, there exists a specific category of healing fruits that do the opposite. They build sturdy legs, reduce joint pain, and actively fight the systemic inflammation that hampers your stride. The first and most powerful pillar of this protocol is the berry family, specifically blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries. These small fruits are potent anti-inflammatories that are low in sugar and rich in antioxidants, making them exceptionally gentle on your blood sugar levels. More importantly for the senior body, berries are clinically noted for their ability to improve circulation, especially in the lower extremities, by enhancing blood flow to the calves and thighs. They help you move more easily, fight morning stiffness, and reduce the chronic swelling that makes your legs feel like lead. A second essential component of the restorative plan is the strategic use of cherries. When consumed in moderation, think a small handful rather than a large bowl. Cherries act as a natural medicinal tool to lower uric acid levels. This directly addresses the risk of gout and the microscopic crystal buildup in the toes and knees that we previously discussed. Cherries help soothe the burning sensation in your joints and provide a cooling effect on the inflammation that often follows a long day of activity. For those seeking a fruit that supports the structural machinery of the legs, the avocado is an unparalleled choice. Rich in healthy fats, avocados work from the inside out to reduce inflammation and provide a biological cushion for your aging joints. Furthermore, the unique fat profile of the avocado helps regulate insulin, ensuring that your muscles receive a steady stream of energy without the devastating blood sugar swings caused by tropical fruits. To support the delicate aging digestive system and further reduce joint stress, the restorative protocol includes papaya. This soft tropical fruit contains specific enzymes that help break down inflammatory markers and support overall digestion, which is often a precursor to joint health in older adults. Papaya is exceptionally gentle on the stomach and soothing to the joints, making it an ideal breakfast or midday snack for those over 60. Additionally, pears can be a valuable addition. When paired with a bit of fiber or protein, pears offer a subtle sweetness that fuels the body without overloading the circulation or triggering the heavy leg syndrome associated with high glycemic options. These fruits do not work against you. They support the vitality, balance, and calm that your body is seeking as it navigates the challenges of aging. This restorative protocol is not just about eating different foods. It is about choosing the right fuel for your current biological age. When you make these intentional choices, you will begin to notice the physical shift. Firmer steps, smoother movements in the morning, and a brighter outlook on your daily activities. It is a transition from fear-based restriction to empowered selection. By replacing the sugar bombs and acid irritants with these therapeutic alternatives, you are effectively providing your legs with the nutrients they need to stay steady, strong, and entirely yours. You are no longer a passive observer of your body's decline, but an active participant in its restoration. Building a blueprint for lasting independence requires more than just a list of prohibited items. It demands a fundamental shift in how you view the relationship between your plate and your physical power. The journey we have taken today reveals that aging is not a process of inevitable decay, but a period of life that requires more sophisticated and intentional choices. By eliminating the 7 fruits that act as metabolic hurdles: pineapple, bananas, grapes, watermelon, oranges, green apples, and mango, you are effectively removing the silent triggers of joint inflammation and muscle fatigue. Instead of fueling a cycle of stiffness and heaviness, you are now equipped to choose therapeutic alternatives like berries, cherries, and avocados that soothe the joints and enhance the circulation required for strong, steady steps. This mindful approach to nutrition ensures that your fruit bowl becomes a source of healing, rather than a hidden trap for your leg strength. When you prioritize foods that support insulin stability and vascular health, you are directly investing in your ability to walk, climb, and stand with confidence for years to come. As you integrate these changes, remember that one meal or one decision at a time is all it takes to begin the recovery process. Your body is remarkably resilient, and by reducing the sugar spikes and acidic irritation that have plagued your lower extremities, you allow your muscles and joints the space they need to regain their vitality. The goal is empowerment, giving you the wisdom to fuel your movement and protect the independence carried by your legs. You have the power to change your trajectory from one of mounting pain to one of lighter steps and brighter mornings. Listen to your body, respect its changing needs, and continue to seek the truths that allow you to live a life defined by strength rather than restriction. With these smart adjustments, your golden years can truly be a time of resilience and active discovery. The power of knowledge is only realized when it is put into action, and today you have gained a significant advantage in the fight for your mobility. As you move forward, let this understanding of metabolic timing and inflammatory triggers guide every choice you make in the kitchen. You are no longer guessing. You are navigating your health with the precision of a seasoned expert. This is the essence of senior vitality, the courage to adapt and the wisdom to thrive. Your legs are the foundation of your world, and by feeding them with intention, you ensure that foundation remains unshakable.